All right, welcome back, True Seeker. Big news today: atmospheric river threatening flooding in much of the state of California. And just think about that. California is a massive state. North to south, it runs, you know, about half the lower 48 in terms of the north south distance. California, huge state, and for a huge portion of the state to be under flood warning. Just think about how crazy that is. And all year, California been experiencing very strange weather phenomena. And who can forget the Hurricane Hillary warning on Bill Clinton's birthday for California? Don't forget that one. That happened last year. Hurricane Hillary warning on Bill Clinton's birthday. People are still doubting weather warfare, but we're going to talk more about why the extreme rain in California on February 4th is such an interesting thing. And it reminds us of how the only Super Bowl halftime show to ever experience rain was when Prince performed Purple Rain, which was many decades after weather warfare was first admitted to. So we'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk about the significance of Patrick Mahomes' father, former MLB baseball player, being arrested for a DWI. Today's Sunday, a Sunday before the Super Bowl. Of course, today can be written 2-4 like 24 or 4-2 like 42. Chiefs trying to get to 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year. Chiefs trying to win their 24th playoff game next week for Missouri, the 24th state. Mahomes trying to do what Montana did in Super Bowls 23 and 24 and what Tom Brady did in 2003 and 2004. He's trying to go back-to-back in the 23 and 24 seasons. So we'll talk more about that, and we'll also talk about the death of Namibia's president. He fought apartheid, and now he's dead at 82, and the man replacing him has the same birthday as the Jesuit order. Go figure. And in case you missed the stream on Joe Madison's death, going to recap that and add one more observation that I overlooked in that last video. But let's just read about this crazy rain in California before we break it down. Extreme weather means stay home and stay safe. Sounds like COVID-19's back. Gavin Newsom's probably going out to the French Laundry tonight. Evacuations ordered for parts of Los Angeles, where the fires burned it down last year. From fires to floods. Over 100 flights canceled, 250 delayed. Over 180,000 Californians lose power as wind gusts strengthen. NASCAR and PGA events impacted. It's funny they got the par 4, hole 4 knocked over. And again, if you read CNN's reporting earlier today, they said that this is on a scale of 4, this is a 4 out of 4 rain event. I've never heard anything like that before. I was like, okay, we know what 4 is, right? 4 is connected to death, destruction, which flooding can bring, which severe weather can bring. We know it's a big number with the military, 4 and 4. We know that it's the military that first admitted to weather warfare way back in 1952 for the Royal Air Force. And then the U.S. military admitted to weather warfare in the time of Vietnam. So 2 million Californians brace for severe weather. All right, so just some of the headlines, and it says Long Beach this weekend will get more rain than it typically gets in an entire year. And here, let's just also read, what is an atmospheric river? Atmospheric rivers are wide-reaching plumes of moisture that act like a fire hose, tapping into warm, moist air from the tropics that storms can then unload as drenching rainfall and heavy snow over land. These types of storms are winter hallmarks across the West Coast. Not all are harmful. Weaker atmospheric rivers deliver much-needed rainfall and snow to the region during the wettest months of the year. The rainfall and snow is vital to Western water supplies. It fills up water reservoirs that are critical resources during dry, hot summers. But atmospheric rivers can quickly become more hazardous than helpful Excessive rainfall unleashed by these potent storms increases the chances for flooding, particularly when a series of storms happen in sequence with little time to dry out between. Last week's atmospheric river broke multiple rainfall records across California and triggered road closures and water rescues. Atmospheric rivers aren't exclusive to the West Coast. They can also impact the eastern U.S. and happen frequently in parts of Europe, Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Now, remember, in 1961, it was September 25th, 1961, JFK gave a speech about the future of weather control and how it can ensure in the future there's no more droughts, crops are getting enough water. And what was it, about a year back, that one of these atmospheric rivers went through California and they said it solved the water crisis that they were facing. So in a way, you could say, okay, this weather manipulation, it's just like all things, it's a dual-edged sword. But again, do they have to do it in such catastrophic fashion? And yes, we are speaking about this like this is a matter of fact, like this is an operation of the military, which I bet all of my worth is the exact case. And again, we'll talk about why today they're emphasizing how crazy the rain's going to be today, February 4th. But again, why do they need to make it so extreme? Why can't they just do it a little more gradual so it doesn't cause such destruction, yet, fills back up the reservoirs? And if you learn Gematria, you'll start to see this is the way the military operates, this is the way the government operates, this is the way the news media operates, day after day. So look at the Gematria of rain, 42 and 24. And today is the event, the unprecedented rain on February 4th, a date written 4/2 or 2/4, just like how they're doing this ritual with Mahomes' father today. And again, doesn't it make sense? What was hold up, date of Super Bowl 41? It was on this day in history. Hilarious. So Super Bowl 41 is where Prince performed Purple Rain, and it's the only Super Bowl where it rained at halftime. Do you think that was just a coincidence or a chance? Of course not. And isn't like the Super Bowl intertwined with the military? You always have the military flyover. Unless you're blind, you can see the military operations taking place in our skies for more than a decade now. We're having the weirdest winter out here this year, winter, fall. Again, I live in eastern Washington, east of the mountains, which is not like west of the mountains, which is associated with green and rain. Over here, it's high desert. It looks a lot like California, and it's mostly blue skies year round. And when weather comes through, it comes through and it leaves pretty quickly. If the clouds come through in the rain pours, and then the rains are gone. The clouds don't stick around for long. It's just mostly constantly blue skies here. But not the last 4 months. It's been nothing but gray skies. And today we're getting a strange break. It seems strange because we're not used to it now for just the last 4 months. But it was a nice, beautiful, sunny day. And now if you look outside, it's nothing but plain cross with white spatter this way and that way and this way and that way. And it's now all dispersing. And now we have a white, it's like it was a blue canvas, but now it's just white splatter everywhere. And you can see little bits of blue left over. And then pretty soon it'll turn back into the gray haze that we've been looking at for all fall and winter. And I can't believe anyone thinks that this is Mother Nature or these are contrails or this is just normal, that planes crisscross the sky and leave white patterns everywhere that, again, disperse until there is no more blue in the sky. This is so obviously, just like when Bill Gates gets on and says, in the future we might have to think about, what do they call it? Aerosol. They have these terminology and they talk about like they're going to do this stuff in the future to stop climate change. It's very annoying whenever the Bill Gates of the world get up there. The other year, some of the Ivy League schools said how in the future we might want to start doing this, the atmospheric interjections or whatever they call it. It's like, okay, they're talking about this in the future, like they're going to do this in the future when they're clearly doing this right now. Just the mockery. I mean, what's today? Some meteorologists come out and tell me what happened today. Why is there 10 million tic-tac-toe trails in the sky and now the whole sky is turning white? Not like we haven't been looking at this for the last decade. But I just wonder what's wrong with all the people who are like, I don't know about that. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. It's like, have you just looked outside? Looks like it's what's happening right in front of your face. But yeah, this is all this stuff that's being done is manipulation. And these people figured out how to move weather systems and, bring down, tons of Arctic air to make it way colder than normal all across the nation like we were just having the other week. Heaters hardly working over here. 8 degrees outside all week. But yeah, the massive rain on February 4th, 4-2 or 2-4. Not an accident. And again, on the anniversary of the only Super Bowl where it rained at halftime. That was already 17 years ago. You know what else actually? You know what's funny about that? Indianapolis won that Super Bowl over Chicago. Indianapolis is the only city in America that equals 201. See the 201? Weather control equals 201, right? And again, JFK gave his speech about weather control back in 1961 on September 25th. You see how weather control is 177, 69, 201, just like the Jesuit order. So, big numbers. If you're new here, we talk about them all the time, how they come together. You remember when Wyoming, part of Yellowstone, got wiped out the other year on June 13th with they said it was a 1,000-year rain event. That was the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Bill Gates, it's up where he has this new experimental nuclear reactor. It's going to save us from the climate change by burning spent nuclear fuel deep down in the ground. I find it funny that he had to make the experimental reactor next to the national parks. If you've never been to Wyoming, it's like the most beautiful place in the world. It's like, I feel like they could have chose a different spot for this experiment, like somewhere out in the middle of the desert where no one goes to. We'll see if that ever turns into a ritual. You can no longer go to the national parks because Bill Gates' experimental reactor has malfunctioned. The state of Wyoming is yellow taped off. And don't forget, William Henry Gates, he lost his ex, Melinda, from the family of Jesuit priests. But William Henry Gates, old 201. Okay, so anyway, crazy rains in California on February 4th. And remember, California has the Gematria 52. All year, all this strange weather stuff with California. California's 52. Flood's 52, Earth's 52, Enlil's 52, the Babylonian god of flooding, just like how the first act of weather warfare admitted to on the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th in 1952. And then again, look it up. Look into that event, the Linmouth flood, and then also look into the U.S. admission of weather warfare in the time of Vietnam with Operation Popeye. So, one more time, Patrick Mahomes' father arrested for DUI today. Pat Mahomes Sr., the father of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, was arrested in Texas Sunday, that's today, for driving while intoxicated for the third time or more. Oh, we got three frozen Chiefs fans. Now the third DUI. Mahomes is trying to win his third Super Bowl. Mahomes was booked into the Smith County Jail in Tyler, Texas. And, of course, Mahomes played for the Red Raiders. The Raiders are hosting this year's Super Bowl. But just to go through all the little rituals again in here, today's date can be written 4-2 or 2-4. Missouri, where the Chiefs are, is the 24th state. They're trying to win their 24th playoff game. The Chiefs are 3-2 in Super Bowls. If they were to win it, they'd become 4-2 on the first ever Super Bowl on the 42nd day of the year. Every black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl has had a 42 ritual. Doug Williams scored 42 points and had 4 touchdowns in the second quarter and finished his career with 42 regular season losses and 42 total losses, regular season plus postseason. Russell Wilson, the second black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, represented Washington, the 42nd state. It was Redskins and then Seahawks, and the Seahawks get their symbolism from the local Native American tribe, just like how Seattle's named after Chief Seattle. And then the Chiefs, with Mahomes, became the third quarterback and team to win black quarterback and team to win a Super Bowl. Again, Chiefs, Native American thing. Mahomes had 42 pass attempts when he beat the 49ers in the first Joe Montana Bowl. Then last year he won it in the 42-state Arizona, and now he's playing on the 42nd day of the year. And what did we say last year? Last year we said the most straightforward 42 ritual they could do is if the Chiefs went back to the Super Bowl and won. And it remains to be seen if that happens. But here we are on 4-2 a week before. And Again, Mahomes' father has an August 9th birthday, just like Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, 8-9. Mahomes is going for his 89th career win in the Super Bowl, the 24th prime. And from 8-9 to today is 179 days later, which is the 41st prime. Of course, Super Bowl equals 41. Like Mahomes got his 41st road win, beating Baltimore last week. Baltimore in Super Bowl 41. And then 179 is a bit like Mahomes' birthday, 17/9, which is also the NFL's birthday. And did you know that Mahomes has the same birthday as the NFL? And yeah, and just before this, the Jackie Robinson statue was stolen, and Jackie Robinson started in baseball with the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro Leagues. Of course, he wore 42. And also dead today. Today's also the anniversary of Rosa Parks' birthday. But the Namibia president's dead at 82, and he was known for fighting apartheid before he was president. Also, apartheid's got that gematria of 82. His name, Genob, Gematria 59, like slave, Negro, Rasta blues. Again, like Black History Month. Typically ends on the 59th day of the year, like Motown in 59. Like Rosa Parks dying on 59 date numerology. But what a day. What a day for, a black president to die in the world. It seems like every year during Black History Month, we're talking about the latest dead African president by the numbers. And he's dead 181 days before his upcoming August 3rd birthday. He would have turned 83 this year. But 181 days. Black history is 181. 181 is also the 42nd prime number. 181, the 42nd prime number. Dead on 4/2 in February, the 42 month. And then all the other 42s from slavery to Tuskegee to Jackie and beyond. So, and then again, I had to look at who's replacing him. The man replacing him, who got sworn in today, has the August 15th birthday, the same as the Jesuit order. What are the odds? And then just for one more thing about Joe Madison's passing, again, Joe Madison just died on Jackie Robinson's birthday. He died on what would have been the 105th birthday of Jackie Robinson. Joe Madison, 105. The thing that I overlooked initially was Jackie Robinson Day is celebrated on April 15th, which is also the 105th day of the year. And again, the small way with numerology applied, Joe Madison's 42, like Jackie wore 42. And again, he went by the Black Eagle, which has that gematria 59, like we just talked about. And his most remembered thing that he did in his radio career was his Guinness Book record radio broadcast that began on the 56th day of the year in DC, where we call 56 land, for the channel Urban View, which also has the 56 connection. And then, of course, he's dead at 74, the killing number. So, and let's not forget that he started his career with the NAACP at age 24, only to die in 2024. Started in Detroit up on the 42nd parallel. And his death, again, on Jackie Robinson Day, but not announced until the start of Black History Month. So look out, Martin. Martin's going to turn 59 this year from the sitcom Martin, where he lived in apartment 42 in Detroit on the 42nd parallel. And hopefully Martin does just fine this year, but you just never know with the psychopaths in charge. Just love their number rituals. So anyhow, somebody, you want calls? Okay, somebody says calls. All right, we can take a few calls. Just try to not make it about Cam Newton, huh? All right, if you know the number, you guys can call in. We'll take a few calls. I got to switch over the speaker setting here. We got to make the volume is boosted. Okay. All right. What do you want to call about? The line is open. The number's on the screen, 509-560-4982. Arizona equals 42. That was last year's Super Bowl connection. You had the team from Lincoln Financial Field on Lincoln's birthday. Lincoln, who freed the slaves, the first Super Bowl, 2 black quarterbacks, and then the games in Arizona, 42 land. So Arizona's 39 the other way, like they were the last state to recognize MLK Day after his assassination at age 39. And Arizona's 42 in the same site for Martin is. And of course, Malcolm X was also assassinated at age 39, going with 39 books in the Old Testament. But yeah. Thank you for calling Urban View. Yeah, if we can get people to call Urban View. Tell them the albino eagle is ready to fill in the shoes of Joe Madison. We're going to take the platform to a whole new level. We're actually going to put out real knowledge and information that actually does something for people. We're not going to tell them to go vote in the rigged selections. We're going to expose the rigged selections. Okay, the line is open. So 732 is first in line. What is it, 732?
Yeah, just breaking news. MetLife Stadium to host 2026 World Cup final.
Okay.
The 201 area code.
Okay. After we just had the Messi and sweet 201 winning it for the Pope. Okay, interesting.
And I had a question about, since you brought up the Colts and the Bears Super Bowl, I noticed that, that Super Bowl is on the 35th day of the year, and the total score is 46. Those are the Chicago numbers.
Yep.
I just don't know why it didn't go Chicago's way.
Oh, you thought Peyton Manning was going to lose to who that year? I mean, no way. So.
Yeah, just,
Can you even remember what the name of the Bears quarterback was in that Super Bowl? I can't even think of that guy's name. There was no way he was going to lose to Peyton Manning.
Rex Grossman.
Yeah, he wasn't going to lose. Yeah, exactly. So.
But, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, the numbers can be there, and it doesn't necessarily mean good or bad for the teams that the numbers represent. So that's one of the strange things that I've come across, and that Super Bowl is a really good example. Like, why, if the numbers, the 35 and 46, Chicago 35-46 falling backwards, how did they not win it with those numbers in the Super Bowl? That's my only question.
Yeah, I didn't know Gematria back then, but I was actually at a thing where there was a pool to pick the score and the winning outcome, and I actually won the pool for all the people in the room. I had one score dead on, and I was 1 point off on the losing score. But yeah, I mean, it was just easy to feel that Peyton Manning wasn't going to lose to Rex Grossman. So I was expecting Devin Hester to have a return touchdown in that game, and he did as well for the Bears. So.
But yeah, all right. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, all right, take care. Yeah, and sometimes it's obvious, like I'm saying, they weren't going to have Peyton Manning lose to Rex Grossman. It just wasn't going to happen. And it's just like it was obvious the Saints were going to beat Peyton Manning after the whole Katrina Bowl. 816.
Yo, can you hear me, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I noticed this too, Zach. Carl Wilson, the other, right? The ran for him, right?
Carl Weathers, you said? Apollo Creed?
Yeah, Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, right?
Right.
He also wore 49 for the Raiders.
He wore 49 for the Raiders?
Or 49 for the couple years that he played, and he also, the Super Bowl is in the Raiders Stadium.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day when he died.
Yeah, the first Super Bowl in Vegas.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did something that was so dramatic that it makes the fans feel a certain type of way on that day in that game that they've never done before. I wouldn't be surprised. As far as something that the referees may do that's very questionable, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, I mean, that would just be every single week in the NFL. I'll remind people that you had that game with the Raiders and Chargers. It was an AFC West match, and it was the first all-black officiating and replay crew in NFL history. They had to tell you that before the game. And then at halftime, the Raiders were up 42-0, and then they won 63-21 by a difference of 42. And now here we are with the AFC West versus the NFC West in the same stadium. So,
yeah, that's all I had though, man. I'm just kind of watching it all play out. And the other thing is Brock Purdy. No, it's kind of like mystery relevant, nobody's thinking anything, but Mahomes' dad also equals 49 as well.
You mean writing the phrase Mahomes' dad?
No, Pat Mahomes Sr.
Oh, Pat Mahomes Sr. Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but that's all I had, man. I'm just listening in.
All right, appreciate it. 910.
Hello.
You got to mute the video. You're on.
How you doing, Brother Zach?
Doing all right. Thank you.
All right. I'll follow you all the way. I just want to say great work you've been doing. Great work you have been doing. And one thing that I hear you complains about the algorithm on YouTube that be messing with you. I think if you don't have to take my advice, but I think if you do more decodes on like more towards the hip hop genre, I think that will bring you more to the light. I know, just my opinion.
Well, I know that you're right about that, because anytime we talk about a dead rapper, it always gets the most views. And, thankfully, that topic slowed down a good deal. We haven't really had one to talk. Well, I guess we recently saw Yo Gotti's brother killed in Memphis the weekend of MLK Day. And then after the 50th birthday of hip hop, we saw Magoo dead at age 50, which we knew was coming. Some rapper was going to get it at age 50. But like, is there any stories that I've missed in recent times?
Well, I know you said about Michael Jordan's birthday is February 17th, 59. There's a lot of 59s, like you have Suge Knight. His birthday, I think it's on 5/9 or April 9th? Yeah, I think it's April 9th, which is 5/9. It's 5/9. So, and then you have Wendy Williams. She's dropping a documentary, and she's 59. You have Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's 59. You have a lot. Oh, and just like you just said, Martin is turning 59.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dr. Dre, he had a health scare the other year. They said he had like a aneurysm or something. So.
Yes.
Yeah. But I know you're not wrong. It's just I just cover the news as it comes, and there hasn't been a whole lot of hip hop deaths, at least big names recently.
You have a lot of people who say clickbait this, clickbait that, but people must understand, due to the censorship, the only way for real truthers to get any type of attention is we gravitate towards these particular topics, and then we can divert their attention to the Gematria.
Sure. Yeah, you got to meet people where they're at. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm just, it's just my opinion, but I think that will boost and that will bring, Gematria even more to light, because see, the elites is promoting their people, like Shannon Sharp and all of these other fraternity platforms, and bringing them to the light and just censoring, people like you.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a good strategy. I appreciate it.
Yes, I just, I just look at that. I follow you all. I've been following you through channels because every time your channel, grow, they do something, and you got to open up another channel, and I got to find that channel, and but I've been following you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
By the way, this is Pastor Michael Smith. I'm over there on Illuminati Radio.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to give you a thumbs up. You're doing great work, and try to maybe look into more of that. Do more topics on that genre, because just to bring more light to the work.
Yeah, I hear it. All right, I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, to echo on their thought, I've been thinking, since I haven't finished my book, because I just have a feeling that I'm telling you, I'm going to get really annoyed and discouraged if I put out a third book and it's better than the last two and it still hardly gets any recognition. But I've been thinking Jonathan, who also needs to finish his book, I should just help Jonathan finish his, because, again, Jonathan's book is called 38 Special, and it's about all the big hip hop deaths and how understanding Gematria in that number 38, you can see right through all the major hip hop deaths. And since anytime we cover a hip hop related death, it is the biggest views at this day and age. It wasn't that way in the past, but that's how it's probably been for the last 3 or so years. And, it's a book that you could also turn into a video series. And who's doing a good job? There is another YouTuber who makes Gematria videos who has good video editing skills. Him and Neo the hacker used to work together, but Neo obviously is kind of dropped out. Hopefully one day he'll come back. But his wingman, See Through the Script, is doing mostly videos just focused on hip hop related news and deaths, and the story of how rappers came up. And he's getting pretty good views. I mean, he deserves a lot more views than he's getting too. But See Through the Script does good work, and that's another channel to check out. Yeah, Jonathan's channel is One Infinite Consciousness. Jonathan hasn't been real active lately. He does want to do a stream. I think he's having an extended flu period, but when he's up for it, we'll do another stream. So Patrick Mahomes, 226. Oh, to his upcoming birthday is to his father's upcoming birthday is 226 days. Yeah, that also makes sense. 212.
Hey, how you doing? I wanted to talk about how LeBron played the Knicks last night. Did you watch that game?
Well, we were expecting the Lakers to win that game, because what was in the headlines just the day before that game? It was the illegal immigrants supposedly and the Kobe Bryant shirt flipping the bird, and we're like, that seems like a sign that the Lakers are going to do something in New York. Plus, they also had the better numbers, but
right. But do you think that it was more to that game? It seems like LeBron might be heading to the Knicks. Do you think that's something that might happen? Because he also tweeted about how he could see himself playing there. He always really wanted to play there, and he really wants to play with his son. And his son might not go within the first 10 picks, because he's really not that good at USC right now. So I don't know. And he's up after his deal after 2 years. His contract's over after this year.
Well, ESPN, again, if you want to go back and look this up, July 22nd, 2018, ESPN put up the story about how LeBron will return to the Cavs. He will play with his son, and it will break the curse of Cleveland sports. And the one connection with Cleveland and New York and Gematria is they both equate to 78. And this is the 78th NBA season. And New York yesterday, I think they picked up their 18th loss and stayed on 18 home wins, which is a whole nother topic. But Yeah, I mean, but putting LeBron in New York would make a lot of sense, right? I mean, that's a huge market. He'd make a lot of money for the NBA and the Knicks organization in that city. So I wouldn't say that's out of the question.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate your work, bro.
All right, thank you. Somebody said, "What's the best place to get my book?" Amazon, since a lot of you guys shop there, does sell my book. You can buy it in other places. If you just search Number Games, Zachary K. Hubbard, all the online retailers that sell it will come up. But just since a lot of people have Amazon and Prime, you can get it in a couple days. So. I just did all my tax stuff this weekend, and for my Number Games book sales this past year, I had to laugh at what the amount I got paid for the year. $2,100.84. So, which I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember getting paid that much. But it's at the same time, it's like this book should be doing $2,100, or it should be doing that much in sales every day. The people of the world need this information, but I was like, 2184, interesting numbers. Thanks for the compliment, Scott. Someday there'll be a third book added to the list. Yeah, 42's got a long list. In my first book, Letters and Numbers, I go through the full 42 list. Gematria 32's got a big part of the list right there in the comment. No caller ID?
Zachary Greenblatt.
Well, you got the wrong last name, but what's up, troll?
Zach, why do you block comments if you talk about censorship?
Well, blocking trolls isn't censoring. It's just getting rid of annoying people.
Is that not the same as censoring?
No, because when people are falsely posting things that are lies, that's just getting rid of, trolling. Just like when somebody posted Zach's Greenblatt, that'll get you a block because that's just false information.
Why? Why is it that important if it's not true?
Because trolling, what's the point of having people clutter your comments with false rhetoric? Now, here, let me ask you something. Where did you learn about the Zach Greenblatt rumor? You cut out. Where did you learn it?
From you, Zach.
I don't know why you cut out when you say it, but I think you're saying from me. So since you learned it from me,
yeah.
How did I reveal that information? How did I say that? Did I say that my last name was Greenblatt? Is that how I said it?
No, you said it might have been Greenblatt.
I said that my father was adopted and he doesn't know who his biological father is. And at one point, his mother told him that his father's real last name might be Greenblatt. So would that make my name Greenblatt, or would that make me possibly related to people named Greenblatt?
That would make you possibly related.
Okay, so if you left that comment, I wouldn't block it. I'd say, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can write that all day. That's true. But when you say your real name is Greenblatt, well, then I just know you're a troll, and then I just get rid of you. So.
Okay, well, what do you think that Sports Gematria makes the best videos on YouTube?
Well, he doesn't. Why do you think he never calls in and debates?
Come on, Zach. Why he doesn't call in and debate?
Did you see what happened last year when he tried to debate me on the other person's stream? He got embarrassed, and then his friend took down the video because he looked like a dumbass.
I watched that debate you had with Chinada 3.
I don't know who that is.
He's called Meth Head.
Huh?
He was the dude with Yeah Right the Matrix. Who you told us to keep smoking the cancer sticks.
Oh, yeah, the guy that literally looked like a weasel. Yeah. You know it's true. That's why you laughed. You laughed because you're like, damn, he does look like a weasel. Like, literally, if you could envision a human that bred with a rat, that's exactly what they would look like.
Oh, I love it.
Zach, honestly, though, at the beginning of the year, did you have Chiefs Niners in the Super Bowl?
Of course I did.
You have that.
Of course we did put out that future. That was one of the top things we talked about all year. I said the only missing ingredient I see in that Super Bowl, and people know I said all year I was tops on those teams. I said the only thing missing for the Niners is they don't have a black quarterback, but it could be black versus white, and that's what they ended up doing.
Who do you think's going to pull it off, Zach?
Well, I've already made that pretty clear. Sign up for the Patreon. All right. Thanks for the call, troll.
All right, Greenblatt.
See? Got to just come back with the false rhetoric. I called you a troll, which is true. You come back with the false rhetoric. All my trolls got nothing but false rhetoric. For all the screen recorders out there, like, why do people call in and reference the Lispy guy's channel when they know he's a ballless loser who doesn't call in and debate because he'd get smoked? Why doesn't he ever call in? I mean, isn't it just profound? The only thing he can do is just chomp up and mislead people with edited videos. That's all he can do. 404.
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I am calling about it. I'm good, thanks. I'm calling about a 201 event, and it's in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. I mentioned before. It's Les Wexner and the owner of Bath and Body Works. And
Right.
They just came out with an article about 3 days ago, and it said how he is like so heavily involved in Epstein. I sent you an email too, so that you could post if you get it. I don't know, but I have a lot of different pictures I've saved to show people. I started to work there in the 90s. And it was crazy. They did training. I was 17 when I started working there. And they did training with us, and we had to watch these videos for an hour at a time. And in the videos, they would show you who you needed to be like. And it was a woman called Kate. And Kate always went to the farmer's market. Kate always used everything natural. She lived in the country in Ohio. And it was this entire person that they had that they wanted every employee to sort of be like. And that's who you had to, they would say, emulate to be. So the store itself has changed drastically. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the store Bath and Body Works. You are, right?
Sure, they've been in the mall forever. I used to always buy my mom and sister gifts from there, little baskets. Sure.
Okay. Well, I worked there for probably about 6 years. And in those 6 years, it changed so much. And looking back, like now looking at the history of Epstein and Les Wexner together, it does make me wonder about this character called Kate. It's very odd. In 2001, they had us destroy all the VHS training tapes and get rid of all of those. So I guess Kate kind of ended her spiel in 1999. But Les Wexner, I did not know this. He actually owns a town in Ohio. And in that town, he sort of made himself his own subdivision. So on this subdivision is his home, which they constantly point out is $47 million. It's on, I think, 20 acres. And then it goes into a neighborhood. You can only have a Gregorian-style home in this neighborhood. And then it goes to like smaller homes. Like I think starting is like 350,000. And then obviously his home is 47 million. So he created this neighborhood, and it's come out a couple of days ago that apparently Epstein had been living with Les Wexner. Now, I'm not sure about any of this. I've never met Epstein or Wexner, so who knows what's going on. But I think it's going to come out more and more. And if you look at Bath and Body Works, it's just such a state-run operation looking back at it. In 2020, they had their advertising was like all their people were in aprons and masks. And of course, they sell the hand sanitizer too. That was a huge thing for them. But it almost, looking back at it, the training was crazy. I I mean, apparently now they hardly train anybody. I guess they throw you on a cash register. But the training there was crazy, especially with this character called Kate. And then over the years that disappeared, and we into the 2000s, they started to change their look. When I worked there, we had something, and this I found very interesting, and did look up the Gematria on it. They used to have what they would call an almanac, and it's when we would stay until like 2 a.m. and rearrange the entire store. So in the year 2000, they changed all that, and they made everybody call it a floor set. And it was this huge deal through corporate. You could not call it an almanac anymore. But the old almanacs that I did was they used only barrels, which is very odd, as what they put their products in. And the entire place of Bath and Body Works up until 2000, they told you have to decorate it as if it was Kate's home. So when you went to work, you put the apron on, because you know everyone there wears the apron. And you would emulate and be Kate, basically. So it's extremely interesting to me, the whole kind of programming and training program they actually put you through. I mean, do you find that strange? They had a woman you were supposed to emulate?
Yeah, at the same time, though, it kind of sounds just like the way corporations operate. Like they want a cookie cutter model. They want everyone to go in every store and have the same experience. You know, if you go to a McDonald's in Texas, it should be the same as a Washington State or Alaska. You know, you get the same food, the same treatment. So it sounds like the corporate model, though, in the way they operate. But I'm sure there's a reason they chose the name Kate. I'm sure I could look into more why they chose the name Kate. I'm sure there is a reason for that. So.
Well, I think it was a gematria of 40. I'm not sure though. You know, I'm not as up on that. I'm just kind of more of I think I'm like a detective. It's funny. But I've done all, besides that, he's going to be, I believe, put into the same sort of category as Epstein. But not only that, I sent you your email just for you to look because I found this interesting. When I got hired in the 90s, the outfit was totally different. And it was almost like applying to be an air hostess. You know how when you were an air hostess, they would weigh you. And I mean, it was almost like it was so based on looks in the 90s. And I sent you some pictures of what they've turned into nowadays, which I think is kind of a mess. But I don't know who's in charge of them anymore. So, but I thought that was an interesting thing that I wanted to share with you guys.
All right. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Bye.
All right. Take care. By the way, I really like the RPM Trey brand because I just like what RPM stands for. Resist political manipulation. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I mean, that is just a great acronym and motto, and that's what we're all about over here. So, again, if you guys have not checked out Trey's shirts, he's got a million different designs. And on the back, the resist political manipulation. So, you know, and you know, just if Trey's out there, Trey, I'm more of a fan of just like words. The big graphics are cool. It's just the problem with big graphics on T-shirts is over time, you definitely got to wash your shirt inside out. Just graphics will fall apart a lot faster than words will in the washing machine. But yeah, thank you very much, RPM Trey. And again, if you guys just go to the live stream from the other day, in the description of that video, there's the link for how to get to Trey's store. And Trey, by the way, when Trey does watch this video, if he does, you need to on your about page for your YouTube, you need to add the link to get to your store there. 302.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Is this Zach? Did I really get through?
You got through.
Oh, snap. That's great. Hey, appreciate you and everything you do. I'll get past all that stuff right there. I just have some questions hopefully you can answer. And as I'm progressing through understanding all this gematria stuff, which has given me a huge freak out like about a couple of weeks ago, and actually been realigning everything in my life. So I just have a couple of questions about the ciphers. If you know about it, or if you know about the whole Gematrinator, the website that he offers for all the calculator stuff.
Yeah, Derek, who built Gematrinator, he came into the community at the end of 2016, and he first built that calculator for people at Excel. And I asked him if he could figure out how to make a website, because then more people would have access to it. And he did. And since he made it, he's made a bunch of changes and renamed ciphers and added in new ways that words add up and extra ways to do date numerology. I wish he would have just left the calculator the way it was when he first built it in 2016. But yeah, I'm very aware of the website.
Okay, well, that's cool. He's got the older versions of that, but he can get past that point. I'm very happy that he offers it because it's been helping me out in life. But what brought me to you through people in Discord has brought me to you, which I'm really happy that I can listen to all the things you've been saying. I just need some clarifications on some things to have some better understandings. And my first question is like, what with numbers? What I understand with ordinal and Sumerian, how like if something equals 111, it turns into 666, and something mentioned amongst people saying about a closed gate and an open gate with 101 and 111. Do you know what that means at all?
Say it again about 101 and 111.
Okay, so ordinal, if something has a value of 111.
I got that, but then you made a comparison between 101 and 111. That's the part I needed to hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's an open gate. 111 is a closed gate. 101 is a open gate. I was wondering if you knew the difference or what it is besides just being binary for logic control relays.
I haven't put any thought into that, but that is an interesting observation. And I see just how numerically, the O's like it's open, one's like the gate's all the way closed. So I'm sure there is something to that. I need to think more about that.
Yeah, because the thing that would back it up is like if you type in mandatory vaccination and then anything that we all know is like forced upon us, that's pure evil, is like, well, the only people who explain is like, well, you're going to hell. I'm like, well, that's a term of phrase. I don't really know what that means. I know it's bad, but okay. The other question that I can think of right now off the top of my head, because I didn't think I was actually going to get through on this, I call it mirroring. Like if you were to compare things together of numeric value, let's say like the reverse is 42, and the next word you look up is 24. Would you consider that a connection because it's flipped side by side type of thing?
Yeah, I was just making the point this morning. It's like Jackie Robinson's son dying at age 24, number 42. So yeah, there is something to the reflections in numbers, of course.
Okay. So the reason I bring that up is because I got into a car accident about a couple weeks ago. Obviously, I'm fine. Through Gematria, maybe they explain a lot of stuff, which kind of creeped me out. I'm still trying to find a way to make a video about it for a private link and share it with people. But either way, the license, I should put this, the license plate was LEE space 1629. And to cut down on the whole freaking story, it came down to finding a Sumerian number that led to 996. And I always believe in as above, so below. So I was like, I'll just turn it upside down. And it's the ending year of my Aunt Maritza, is the day she was born. She was born in 1966. And kind of have like a little spiritual engagement thing. I'm cutting out a lot of parts that led me to there, but it's also the same number in Sumerian for Sandalphon, the twin brother of Metatron. And I believe there's some kind of role thing going on. I'm not trying to get too spiritual or trying to push any kind of religion out here. I'm just like, this is what the process that I went through without knowing my background. So if the same thing can be applied for a 2-digit, can the same thing be applied for a 3-digit or a 4-digit number?
I imagine so. It'd only be logical.
Okay, that's cool. With the number, if you have the same number in different locations for different ciphers, like for example in like Pythagorean or in Latin, like the same number but in 2 different places, is there any kind of connection in some sort of way, or do you understand what kind of connection it would be for?
I'm not sure I follow your question.
Okay, I apologize. I just, I've seen you and Gematria show that like same numbers, but like using different ciphers. So there's a correlation.
Okay, so like for example, in septenary and Chaldean gematria, football and Super Bowl equate to 35, and those ciphers are related. There's a lot of pairings with those two ciphers, but the first Super Bowl was won with 35 points. And then using the Pythagorean method, Thursday is 35, and every week we're educated about just how rigged the NFL is with 35 Thursday, how they're doing a 35 ritual week after week. So you're talking about three different ciphers, but you see this connection with this number, 35. And then in the most simple cipher, the word I, E-Y-E, is 35, like the football is the shape of an I. So you could say, okay, you have four different values of 35 using four ciphers, but they all pertain to the same shape, the same subject, the same sport. And then you see how week after week, there's these 35 rituals. So is it cool? Are you essentially saying like, is that a way to look that there's evidence between different numerical values and different ciphers, but still being connected? Is that essentially what you're asking me?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I think there is, but also at the same time, I mean that everything's a dual-edged sword, right? You can start like using, like when Derek started decoding and he pulled up all these ciphers, he would do these decodes, and I told him that that's not going to convince anybody because he'd be using 15 ciphers to put together a picture, and I'd say just think about how the skeptic's going to come along and say, yeah, but you took 15 ciphers to paint the picture for the argument you're trying to make. Again, the reason you have to, it's like you can't just pull numbers out of the ciphers. You have to show how those numbers are actually used in that subject ritualistically outside of gematria. And that's what I always explain to people. Like if you're doing a decode, you should have an example of where that number fits in history, just outside of decoding words into numbers. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I concur with what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and I think Derek's gotten better about doing that. If all you have are 15 different ciphers to try and paint a number picture, but you can't show where that number shows up in history in regards to the subject, to me, that's a bad decode and not helpful and essentially diminishes the value of the work.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well. You know, there's a thing called like too much information. I get you. And although I have some more questions, please let me know if I'm eating up time where other people can call in.
Let's say you got one more minute just to keep it fair so other people can call in. But sure, your next best question.
Okay. Where can I go to understand more about the meaning of numbers in general? Like, you know, numerology. Nothing to do with the freaking GG33 Academy guy, Gary.
He's a fraud, that guy. That guy's the definition of a fraud. You know, I like Manly P. Hall. He's one of my favorite occult researchers. He has a book on the numbers 1 through 10, and I'd recommend reading that book.
Okay. I guess this live stream is going to be placed on your channel. Is because everything will be said. I can just go back to the channel and just like rehash everything that we just discussed about as point of references.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Appreciate it, man. I'm going to let the next person in. Thank you. 814, you're on.
Zach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Hold on, let me turn this down. I'm sorry. Hey, I just got a quick question. I was doing some numbers. I don't know if you had caught this or not, but did you see that if you type in the word Vivek, V-I-V-E-K, and if you type in the word lions, L-I-O-N-S, they have the exact same number. And I mean, what do you think? Do you think anything that means anything? I thought that might have meant that the Lions should have made the Super Bowl.
I don't follow any of the logic here. He got beat in the race by the numbers. Why would him getting beat in the primary mean the Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl? And why are we even comparing the two things? Like, what's the relationship?
I think that Trump's going to announce him as vice president.
Well, that's possible because his exit from the race was perfectly synced with Trump, as we talked about. But I don't understand the logic of why you're comparing him and the Lions. He's not from Detroit.
Well, I don't know. I just thought that stood out. That's all it was, man. I mean, they had the exact same numbers, and I just thought that might have meant something, being that we're in the year X. You know, he has 24, 66, 69, and 30 in there. You know, I just think that all pairs up with a lot of the 24 and 30s. I mean, just in the Lakers and the Celtics game the other night, they kept going to the banners where they had the 24 and the 6 next to each other, you know?
Okay.
All right, man, I just wanted to call in and just see if you, I don't know, you know, I just wanted to share that with you. That's all it is. I appreciate you taking my call every time, man.
Yeah, no problem. Take care. I know last night, Sweet Lady had on this hit show on Netflix, The Tourist, and in the background, he's listening to the radio, and it says something about Georgetown in 57. There must be a Georgetown in Australia, because that's where it's set, but I was like, look how they just kind of throw it in for just no reason in the background of this while he's driving down the road, listening to the radio. They're like, Georgetown, 57, Southern Hills. Again, you guys, Georgetown equals 57, right? Georgetown was established in 1789, the year George Washington became president. George Washington turned 57 in 1789. The word George alone is 57. And again, you know, Georgetown's Jesuit, and Jesuits wrote the Scottish rites. But yeah, again, I mean, you just pay attention. You just see that they're paying tribute to these numbers all over the place, even seemingly in a nonsensical piece of information just floating in the background. It's like subliminal programming. Georgetown Hoyas is also 57? That must be in reverse, huh? Because Georgetown's 42 in reverse, like Jesuit. Wait, I'm not seeing it 57 in reverse. Are you saying Hoyas? I'm not seeing the Hoyas part, but definitely the Georgetown part. Okay. All right. Well, I think we can leave it there for now, you guys. Shout out to Can Diesel with the big 20. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And the realist chipped in 5 and said, stop giving the trolls your attention. We aren't listening to them, Zach. They wait for you to mention them, or is this a victim narrative for your show? Well, again, we only mention the trolls just to mention that the critics have nothing. 814.
Hey, I just wanted to call back and just point out something that I was thinking about too. You know how that caller called in earlier and they were saying that they think that something's going to happen during the game? What are your thoughts if Travis Kelce proposed to Taylor Swift right after the game?
I guess that would just be a storybook ending for an entirely scripted. Again, Taylor out. I saw last night that Bill Maher opened his show by making fun of conspiracy theorists, saying the NFL rigged the season around Taylor Swift. Haven't we been showing since week 1 what they were doing with Taylor Swift? Taylor Allison Swift 104. And hold on, let me see her last album. Hold on, Taylor Swift. And let's not forget that Swift alone is 58, like it's Super Bowl 58. But hold on, she put out this album, Speak Now. So this was her last album with the purple. Hold on. Okay, he doesn't know. Hold on, these. Speak Now was the album she put out just for the season got underway. Notice how purple it is, like the logo for the Super Bowl. And look at the Gematria Speak Now as well. 104, right? For the 104th NFL season, it's also 32, like Kansas City's 32, like Chiefs is 32. Speak Now is also 112, and the same cipher Chiefs is 112, and so is Super Bowl. And this is a point we kept coming back to all year because the Chiefs just had all the mega rituals this year. And we just said, wouldn't it just make so much sense? Just that the whole season scripted around her. Now you got Bill Maher making fun of people saying, oh, like there's some kind of conspiracy theory for them to script the season around Taylor Swift. Okay, 814, come back.
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, and then too, as you were looking, I was just thinking, I don't know if this means anything, but you know, his dad was arrested in Tyler Smith And that kind of sounds like Taylor Swift,
That's where they're
I
from.
don't know if that means-
Tyler does sound like Taylor. That's where the Mahomes family's from, is Tyler, Texas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. The only other thing I pointed out, I guess the only thing I other caught was me and my buddy, we were doing some numbers and stuff, and we seen that the last time that the Super Bowl was played on the 11th, the Chiefs actually played on and they won.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it was Super Bowl 20 or Super Bowl 3. The other thing too, I don't know, I think you might have were touching on this, is, it's 23 and 24. We're in the year 23 and 24. And the last time that anybody repeated was in Super Bowl 23 and 24. I think you might have brought that up before. I'm not sure.
No. That's not true. Joe Montana repeated in Super Bowls 23 and 24. Brady was the last person to repeat in 2003 and 2004, 19 years ago, like Montana wore 19 for the Chiefs. And again, Montana's 67 years old right now, which is the 19th prime in Kansas City, equals 67. And the last time the Niners and Chiefs played each other, there were 67 points in the game, and so on and so forth.
Hey, you know what else too? As I'm looking at it, here's an interesting too. Is Mahomes as an underdog is 10-1-1, and his next win, if he gets a win, he would get his 11th win as an underdog. You type in San Francisco 49ers, they have actually won in their name.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you for taking my calls. You have a good night, buddy. Thank you so much, Zach.
You too. 562.
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
So, you don't think you're coming for the Kobe Bryant unveiling of his what do you call it?
The statue? Yeah, unfortunately not, which I have a lot of regret about. But like I said, I couldn't get it right with the domestic life here.
That's gonna be a major, like a huge. Yeah, and you know what? I don't mean to get into your personal life, but like you're saying that sweet lady doesn't want you to, want you to go. I mean, you just sold your house and moved from, what was it? To Prosser, right? From what was it? The one before, the town before.
Well, these are when you're oftentimes you gotta, to keep the sweet lady happy. You gotta do things. But again, so yeah, these are the choices I'm making to keep the relationship. Like they say, happy life, happy. So.
Yeah, but all right, bro. All right.
Hey, again, you can put it on me, which is fair because it is partly my fault. But at the same time, where's the support from the world to help me win the case here?
Yeah.
I mean, can't you see things from her perspective? If my support's in half of what it was, which is true from when I went and traveled all over the country, and she's already uncomfortable with me traveling, especially now that she literally has trolls calling her at work and posting her address, so she's even less comfortable. Before there were no, that was a mistake. That anyway, it doesn't matter. The trolls figured out her name and where she works, so she's even dealing with more harassment now. So again, really the only way to remedy this situation is to get way more support like this work deserves, and just say, look, you don't even need to work anymore. You can just come travel around with me. So.
All right, Zach.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, we covered the decapitation story. I mean, go back and watch my video about the Congress versus big tech hearing, and then how right after that news broke, then you had the decapitation story. 814.
Hey, just check this stat out I just looked up, man. Pat Mahomes, his first regular season loss was against Tom Brady. His first playoff loss was against Tom Brady. His first Super Bowl loss was against Tom Brady.
Yep.
In his career.
Yep.
And I'm just going with the GOAT line. I'm just thinking, like, you know, and when you had brought up the fact that him and the NFL share the same birth date, that just got me to thinking, like, man, if Brady was like the face of the NFL, the GOAT, you know, they're gonna pass that torch on. Like, who would they do that? And I just thought, like, man, who did Mahomes end up losing to? You know, his very first loss in the season, first loss in the playoffs, first loss in the Super Bowl. Sure enough, all three, Tom Brady.
Yep. So.
You know, I really think that, you know, when this season, before this season started, before Brady decided to call his retirement, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I called it. I was telling my buddy, I thought that Tom Brady was going to come back if Purdy didn't work out, and he was going to end up, you know, playing for the 49ers. And this Super Bowl actually should have been Mahomes versus Tom Brady with the 49ers.
Well, Purdy got his first career win as a starter over Tom Brady. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like the passing of the torch in that sense.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm just looking up these stats as you're going on, man. I appreciate you taking my call again, Zach.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Apparently, he's the guy who wants to call in the most today. I see Joey's trying to get in. Joey, I think the reason your call's not going through is because your number's blocked. So let me see. All right. I unblocked you, Joey. It's just Joey, he ruined my birthday stream about Tony Bennett's death with saying how his death was all about Cam Newton. I was just like, oh my God, his death literally has nothing to do with Cam Newton. All right, what's up, Joey?
Yeah, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Could you believe Patrick Mahomes' dad, his first DUI, guess what day it was?
I don't know when the first one was, but I did see that they mentioned that he got a DUI in 2018, which was Mahomes' first season as a starter.
Yeah, he got his first one in 94 on the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th.
Go figure. And that was the year that the Niners beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl.
Yep, that's right. And now Jim Harbaugh, who used to be a Niner, is now on the Chargers.
Right.
But
hold on. Since you looked into the dates, did it say what day in 2018 that he got the DUI?
I didn't go to that DUI. I went to the first one because the first one probably has more significance than the second one. But the second one I didn't get the date on the second one, no.
Okay. Yeah, we might want to look in that. The article mentioned that one that I read and said 2018. So.
But DUI in the most simple cipher equals 34. DUI 34. And yesterday was the 34th day of the year. And the word black equals 34.
And Mahomes is 34, and 49ers is 34, and they just won with 34 points on the anniversary of winning the Super Bowl 34 years earlier. So.
And yesterday was 139 days after Mahomes' birthday. And 139 is the 34th prime. And yesterday was 3/2, like Kansas City and Chiefs, both 32. That's how perfect they have the board scripted. But in satanic gematria, DUI is 139. And the San Francisco team is the Church of Satan team because the Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco. So how perfect that there's relevance with the satanic cipher in this big ritual that's going to happen.
Here, pause for a second with your research, because we got the guy in the chat who's always doing interesting research. I just want to remind people that the word war is 42, and in Gematria, if a word has numbers in it, you don't have to add the numbers part. You can just add the letters part. So 49ers is 42 and 15, like war is 42 and 15. And again, Mahomes wears number 15, and Mahomes' next playoff win is 15, and the Chiefs are the designated home team for the Super Bowl. Their next home win is 15. But again, we just saw this the other year with the Rams. Like the Ram is the god of war who wear blue and gold like Ukraine's colors. We saw them win the Super Bowl. And then Sean McVay's out there with his Ukrainian fiance. And the next thing you know, there's a war in Ukraine that pretty much we're funding. And now we have rumors of World War III everywhere. You got 3 frozen Chiefs fans in 15 jerseys. You got 3 dead troops at Tower 22 who are all black, only for us to retaliate once Black History Month starts. And now you have the Chiefs with a chance to do this 4-2 in Super Bowls ritual on the 42nd day of the year as Mahomes gets 15 win. And these are war numbers. And again, I mean, what is the Chiefs symbol? It's an arrowhead. It's a weapon. Weapons, war. So again, you can choose to ignore all the things and start saying, oh, no, it's a lock that it's the Niners because the Chiefs lost the first game and the 12th game. And it's just like, okay, if you want to go with that, you can go with that all day. But I'm telling you, all the signs are just smacking in your face with the obvious. And yeah, so I just want to make that point too about the Super Bowl and war and what the symbolism of the Chiefs, like war chief. Remember last year in the game in Arizona, they had to bring on the Coach Ice song by the numbers, right? And Coach Ice was a native war chief in Arizona. They had to play that song in the outro right as the Chiefs put the game away. But anyway, go ahead, Joey.
So, two critics on why I would use the satanic cipher. I mean, to anybody that's listening that might say that's a reach, why would you use satanic gematria? I mean, first of all, we know satanic gematria equals 666 in that cipher. But, yeah, the DUI 139 in satanic 139 days after Mahomes' birthday. But what's interesting is that the 49ers, from when the last time they won the Super Bowl until now, they have 259 wins since they last won the Super Bowl. And Chiefs is 260 in satanic. And so that's one thing for going for the 49ers. And as well as, I remember you always talked about how 4-2 is like 42, but it's not a true 42. And what I see very incriminating for the Chiefs is that we know last year's Super Bowl undeniably was synced up with Mahomes and Len Dawson, who died on Kobe Bryant Day, 8/24. And Mahomes' birthday is 179, like 179, the 41st prime, like Kobe Bryant. And he died, and they won the Super Bowl 172 days from Kobe Bryant Day, and Kansas City Chiefs equals 172. So we have it down completely that Mahomes is perfectly synced up with Kobe Bryant. Now, Mahomes is on 25 losses in his career, and Bryant equals 26. And just from when Kobe died, the date Kobe died, 1/26/2020, until the Super Bowl on 2/11 is exactly 211 weeks. From when Kobe died to the Super Bowl, exactly 211 weeks. A ritual human sacrifice number, which was what Kobe was. And of course, the 49ers and Chiefs last met before, right after Kobe died. And it was Super Bowl 54, and now we're in the 54th of the modern era.
Again, I just want to point out, this is kind of decoding that just, like we're going to satanic gematria and just skipping the numbers right in front of our face. And now we're talking about Kobe who died right before Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. The Kobe statue is going up on the anniversary of Derek Thomas's death, a Chiefs star who wore 58, who wore the number 58, but died 24 years to the day of that statue going up. Kobe, who wore 24. How old was Mahomes when he won his first Super Bowl? 24. When did Len Dawson die? On the 24th of August, Kobe Bryant Day, 24 days before Mahomes' birthday. Missouri, the 24th state. the Chiefs playing for their 24th win in 24, trying to emulate Joe Montana history from Super Bowls 23 and 24. So anytime somebody starts going, well, I'm satanic gematria 2-6, I'm just like, I mean, really? As Mahomes' father gets his third DUI with 3 frozen Chiefs fans in the statue 3 days before the Super Bowl. So anyway, Joey, appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Okay. Again, nothing's a lock, but like when you start going to like some sideways cipher that doesn't really hit that much in sports, and you start looking at stuff that's just too far outside the box, again, all these 3, like I just said, while they're talking about World War III and 3 dead troops, I mean, you guys can do what you want, but again, haven't been missing on many Super Bowls, and again, this looks almost like a layup. 302.
Hey, it's me again, Vladimir. I just got 2 follow-up questions. I think I found the book that you were referring to. I just want to confirm it's The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall.
That's one of his books. He has a bunch of books. You're the one who asked about numbers, right?
Yes, that's correct.
He has a book on the numbers 1 through 10. Look up that book.
Just specifically that title, numbers 1 through 10. Okay.
I forget exactly what the title is, but I mean, if you search, you'll find the book that I'm talking about.
Okay, I'll do that. And the second question was, you mentioned earlier about using Sepultary and Chaldean for the sports and everything. Are ciphers used for specific reasons? Like ones could be good for fishing for time, or for heritage and ancestry type of things. Is there ciphers? Do they have meanings for specific things?
Why don't you just read my book? Why don't you just read Letters and Numbers, the book I wrote?
I was about to actually place an order by the stream. They will get you 2. You have 2 books actually. You have 2 of the $5 ones that were just paperless, and then the 2
in Letters and Numbers, I talk about the ciphers. So it's more of an introductory book.
Okay. Well, you got the 1 paperback on Amazon, but the green one, you have to go through your website to get that one. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it got banned everywhere else.
Well, then it speaks truth then, and I'll get it faster then.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, bye.
Okay. Yeah, on my website, GematriaEffect.news, you can just click the ebooks tab, and you can download both my books as ebooks. Or you can just go, you know what? On Patreon, if you just pledge $1, I just made it on the $1 tier that you can download both books for $1. So that's actually a way to save a few bucks. Yeah, about the Super Bowl, I mean, we've already won enough. And again, I already gave out the narrative for why it was going to be Chiefs and 49ers in the conference championship weekend. So I'm not going to change my thought. The same reason that I had that as the Super Bowl matchup is the same logic I'm following. And again, we weren't using satanic gematria or adding up what happened in week 1 and week 12. We were just going, oh, look at this pattern of 23-24, 2003, 2004, and Super Bowls 23 and 24. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to be that way, but it's the reason it's the matchup. And again, I just think a lot of this other thinking that comes in the communities like loopy and baseless and flimsy. And again, I mean, I just can't believe anyone would be like, well, in satanic gematria, it's just like, okay, how often do we use that in sports? Like never. But in week 1 and week 12, it's like, okay, how's that stack up with a history of Super Bowls? And were we not like spelling out Tom Brady modeled his game after Montana who played for the Niners and Chiefs? Now you had Mahomes' father the other day on ESPN saying that his son is looking in the direction of Montana and Brady. It's like, okay. So again, how did we call it? Again, it's just like we said in the 2019-2020 season. Montana wore 19 for the Chiefs, but not the Niners, and that's why we favored the Chiefs to win that Super Bowl. It's the same thing this year. Joey, what's the call about?
Just that you were trashing satanic gematria when I just clearly showed that it was a DUI equals 139. And his dad gets arrested for a DUI, 130.
But at the same time, are they using the terminology of DUI in any of the articles, or are they using DWI?
DUI.
Hmm.
DUI. I keep accidentally saying DWI, but it's DUI.
Let's see. TMZ's got DWI. Fox News has DWI. Daily Mail has DWI. Now, Marca did use DUI. Clutch Points has DWI. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 using DWI. All right, let's go over to Chris in Vegas. What's up, Chris?
Hey, my man, Zach, thanks for taking my call. Thanks for everything you do. And going, like you said it just right before and after I'm hearing, I'm like, you know, he's absolutely right. Like that OKC game 0-1, nothing's a lock. You're 100% right. But with this Super Bowl, I think you nailed it on the head. You've been calling it. You have been calling it. So all the trolls that you have been coming in, and for what is going on, you have been putting it out there, and people who've been riding out you for all the weeks, Week 18 division championship. We all know that. Hey, we've been hearing what we've been hearing. We know what side he's been on. We know what's been talked about. So that being said, going over the stuff that you've been going out with all year, going off of what I go off of, the number, how the numbers came out. I actually tracked this number. So like you said, nothing's a lock, but you're going with what you stay true. So the last time I tracked this number, it was a 20-23 game with the home team. So I got the Chiefs winning it. I got the Chiefs +3. I liked them for since I saw it. So right after the games when the odds makers put that line out, I've liked it since that day. So your stuff that you've been talking about all year, yeah, you're going to have different narratives. And there's narratives out there. That's part of the debate. That's part of us trying to get the decode and get everything down when you're looking at the Gematria style. So that is what we take advantage of and what we piece by piece every time we have different discussions and conversations that you're putting out narratives that, hey, this could be it. But always keep in mind, everything's lining up. You've been talking about Mahomes, the 15, the Taylor Swift thing. And so for the people that really are gamblers and really look at the information, we know, hey, he's talking the same shit that's true to ourselves, and this is what we're like. He's been on it. So you're given the options there, and it's how everybody wants to bet and how they kind of look at it. But going forward, I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not flawless, but I'm going to say I'm riding with you, and I've been riding with you for a long time, and I'm riding with my numbers, and I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs +3. I will say this, on the contrarian and the consensus of the public, as of right now, there is a lot of money on the Chiefs. So I don't know if it matters or not to me. I don't. You see the money and you're like, shit, there is a lot of money. Not everybody's riding with the 49ers. So if you pull it up and you look at the money, you're going to see, and you look at the spread, and you're like, well, are they also looking to cover that spread? If they're looking to cover that spread, they're probably thinking they're going to win. But it's not always perfect. Just like my OKC game. I lost that game, and that wasn't a good one. But ever since that day, I lost that day, I've been fucking smashing and going up and up and did bigger and better than I've ever did in the gambling business. And we're here to win. We're not here to lose. So, you know, it's not a dress rehearsal. So I truly appreciate it. And you have been saying it all year. So people who are gamblers from week 1, from week 2, you looked at the numbers, you had them out there. We all know, even from last year, talking about what will possibly happen this year. So you've been lining it up like when you play golf. You put the tee in, you put the ball in there. You're lining this up. We just got to swing the bat. And you're not going to go swing the bat 100%. There's no such thing. But always remember, if you're above 52.8%, you're going to be fine. And you're way above that, bro. So don't even be hard on yourself with this NFL season. You're constantly being hard on yourself with the NFL season. I don't think you really need to be hard on yourself. And I think you're way over that number all year. So, and not only what pulls you through, I'll get off real quick, but some of the dogs and the value that you're giving that will line up with the numbers that I'm giving up, such as the Lakers the other night. When they moved the line and I saw it at +350, and you were talking Lakers, and then I saw the players give it out. And I give out the Lakers on my Patreon at 5 in the morning. So before even the news and everything came out, I saw the number, and on my Patreon, which I'll send you a screenshot, you'll see it. Lakers plus. At the time, they were lower because all their team wasn't out. So then when all the team goes out, they moved the line. To me, it was perfect. You even said it on your show. You said, hey, guys, sometimes they do that shit just to bait you even more. And that's exactly what they did. And that's exactly what they did with, like what they did with the Nuggets. When they took all their starters out playing the Clippers at home. I had the Denver Nuggets money line at +400, but the starters weren't playing in. They moved it up even more. You were saying it on the show. Hey, guys, this is what they kind of do. They dummy down. They reverse psychology. And it is there. You got to know the game within the game and the system. And when you can line it up and you already have a tee off and you're ready to go, it gives you more insight and more, I guess you would say, confidence to know, man, I'm on the fucking right side here. So when they said that, I was like, oh, this is amazing. $300 for $3,000 real quick. No problem on the money line. And with William Hill, they let you cash out. If the value's too much and it's growing, they'll give you a chance to cash out. So now you're just getting a return on your investment, getting the equity of the number, not even worrying about the team, and you're consistently doing it. And then you buy back in and get them again. So that's what I do. By the way, thank you very much. No hard feelings. I always love what you do, bro. So I hope there's no tension anyway above and beyond this. I was truly hoping that you were going to come to Vegas, but I know keeping everything happy at home and how that thing goes. And you are right. If you had a bigger community, you would give a lot more people who that were helping out, chipping in, more value to be like, hey, man, I do have a wide variety of people that want to show up and go. So on ourselves, the people who look at you watching in, as you being our mentor, we do have to give a little bit more. And that's how we will grow. And, it's never enough. At the end of the day, it's never enough. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Have an excellent day, and let's go fucking Chiefs, and let's go Chiefs +3. And it's okay if we're not perfect, but we're going to stay true what we stay true, like you said, all year, brother. So just ride the Chiefs out, man. I'm riding it with you, and that's what you've been doing. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to come back with my number and just let them know that the odds makers came out with this line. I've seen this line. I think the score is going to be 23-20 Chiefs. I see the Chiefs winning by 3. So let's go, baby. Have a good day.
With all the three, that's not a bad thought. So. All right. Appreciate it, Chris.
Thank you very much, Zach. Seriously, I really do. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Yeah, thanks. We have people who keep calling in from the same numbers over and over. When you guys call in, don't keep calling back in, okay? You called in, one call's enough. Yeah, and again, I'm not worried about being wrong about the Super Bowl either, because here, let me remind you of my Super Bowl resume. Super Bowl 48, that's when we were first starting. I explained why the Seahawks were going to beat the Broncos, and I wish I would have known reverse Gematria back then, because I didn't. That was Super Bowl 48, Seahawks equals 48. What I pointed out after that Super Bowl is how Seattle Seahawks equals 43, like they won that game 43-8. And that was the 94th NFL season, Seattle Washington's 94. And once we learned reverse, we said, oh, that makes sense, because everything in Seattle's history is 94. And we were out there week 1 of the NFL season before the game telling the fans why Matt Stafford was going to beat Seattle in Seattle, getting his 94th career win as he went on to do. Super Bowl 49, that was easy. I said Brady's becoming 4-2 in Super Bowls versus the 42nd state, Washington. That's the one where they didn't hand off at the goal line. Super Bowl 50, put out about week 3 why the Broncos would beat the Black Panthers in the Huey P. Newton Bowl. USA Today wrote their hit piece on me for that one. Super Bowl 51, I was off on my future in the preseason. My initial thought, though, about the Packers and Falcons being the big teams in the NFC was dead on. That's what the NFC Championship ended up being. But I thought that was going to be the Colts' year. Instead, it ended up being Brady's year. And we saw after week 1 with Garoppolo filling in for Brady, the ritual they did. That was a nice way to start the year. The Patriots were 12.5-point underdogs week 1 at the Cardinals, and we had the Patriots to win that game. But my Super Bowl future was off that year by quite a mile. Super Bowl 52, week 3 again. We said why it was going to be Patriots versus Eagles, exactly what it was. Super Bowl 53, before that season began, we explained why the Patriots would beat the Rams. Super Bowl 54, we took a few different futures that year, but in week 3, we had Niners versus Chiefs in the Joe Montana Bowl. That happened. Super Bowl 55, before the season began, we had the Bucs over the Chiefs. That was dead on. Super Bowl 56, we were having trouble figuring out what was going on that year, but then we saw with the way the playoffs were, how they made it the Billy Cannon Bowl for Joe Burrow, and we did have the Bengals to upset the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, which pretty much nobody had. And then Super Bowl 57 last year, we had either the Chiefs or the Bills to win the Super Bowl before the season began. And this year, we took a number. This year's a lot like Super Bowl 54. We had a number of futures, but at the beginning of the season, we also had a rematch of the Joe Montana Bowl because Super Bowl 58 is the 54th of the modern era. Joe Montana's 54. So, yeah, and I mean, that's just in the NFL. We've done the same things in the NBA, the MLB, college sports. Yeah, so when losers come out of the woodwork, we go, oh, Zach was wrong about something. It's like, okay, yeah, I might have been wrong about that game. But again, my thought already for the Super Bowl already produced 2 winners this past weekend for the conference championship games for why they were doing the Joe Montana Bowl again. So, I mean, even if we lost the Super Bowl, we still would have went 2 out of 3 on that idea. It was still a winning idea. We've already won off understanding the rig. And yeah, again, I mean, we're fresh off hitting another World Series future, a big time payout, 50-1 on the Rangers. Yeah, so my haters, I mean, they're just losers, you know. Not only did we figure out how the games are rigged, we proved it, and then we gave you the code so you can just see it week after week and you can just laugh all the way. How many times we talk about Lions being the 24 team and then the Lions are just stuck on 24 points. They just can't get off it. And the next thing you know, the game's tied at 24-all. Not to mention, didn't I say in the first half of that game, the score would probably end up being 24-7? I did. Detroit's establishment date, 24-7. The country's 247 years old. Then they had to tell you at the start of the third quarter, the last time the Lions and Niners were in a championship game, the Niners were up 24-7 at halftime, and they blew it, and the Lions came back and won. And we said, uh-oh, just like we were doing last year. We said, uh-oh, are they telling you the script? Are they going to break the Lions' hearts fans again? And then sure enough. So, yeah, and again, I try to keep people from like doing, I mean, listen, if you really like the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, go for it. You'll make my dad happy because he's a huge 49ers fan. That's the only thing I'll be happy about if the Niners win. Oh, at least my dad's happy his team won the Super Bowl. But, yeah, like I keep telling you, Super Bowl's 23 and 24. What happened in 2003 and 2004, now what can happen in 23 and 24, the respective years. I mean, to me, that seems like the most logical pattern. And also, here's the other thing I'll tell you about the Chiefs going for their 24th win and trying to get the 15th playoff win for Mahomes and get to 4-2 in Super Bowls with all this World War III rumors as Mahomes goes for his 3rd Super Bowl for himself, again with 3 frozen fans. Again, it's Iran that they're beating the war drum with, right? It's Iran and how we're attacking these Iranian militias in these different countries right now. Iran's the big boogeyman. Iran's got the 42-24. So I guess that's the reason to cheer for the Niners. Maybe that would help us divert World War III. But aren't we pretty much at war with the whole world right now? They're just not calling it out. They're just showing you that we're bombing countries all over. From the Middle East to Africa, we're just bombing all over the place. But I guess we're not at war. It's George Orwell's 1984. And by the way, just paying attention to what's in news and sports. This gave us the hunch that the Lakers would beat the Knicks. You see how they had this story, the kid in the Kobe shirt? And again, they put this out while the Lakers were on 24 wins. And I was like, well, the Lakers play New York in a few days. And then sure enough, the Lakers upset the Knicks last night with the classic 113 points. Again, I mean, do you think it's an accident that the Lakers beat the Knicks with 113 points? Isn't that the Kobe Bryant number? Isn't that the National Basketball Association number? So you're looking at this in the mainstream media. You're looking at the kid in the Kobe shirt flipping people off in New York. And the next thing you know, the Lakers are winning in New York with 113. You know. 814 is not getting the memo. He just keeps calling over and over. Too many calls, 814. Yeah, and again, one more time. Kobe died, who finished his career at 24. Then Mahomes won the Super Bowl at age 24. Then Len Dawson died on the 24th of August, Kobe Bryant Day, 24 days before Mahomes' birthday. Now here he is, going for his 3rd Super Bowl with 3 frozen fans 3 days after the Kobe statue's going up, trying to win the 24th win in the Chiefs franchise in the playoffs for the 24th state, Missouri. See, just being aware of this, you can understand why it was Kobe who was sacrificed for Mahomes. One sports star dead, another sports star, his legacy has grown by a huge amount since then. Will Mahomes end up winning 5 championships like Kobe won 5 championships? 15 is the 5th triangular number, which means if you add 1 through 5 together, it equals 15, like Mahomes wears 15. All right. I don't want to do any more call-ins. I just want to wrap it up. So we'll leave it there. Again, shout out to the 2 people that left a super chat, The Realist and Can Diesel 90. I appreciate the generosity. And until next time, True Seeker.